Hi, my name is Sally Bernard, an artist, author, and spiritual experiencer. Welcome to Call Me Zena, a true story into the spiritual realms. Join me as I sit and discuss the journey of self-discovery, and with the help of my spirit guides, it's time to trust your intuition. Sit with me and call in live 888-994-4995 Studio A. And now onto the show.
Hi, good afternoon, everybody. It's Monday at 2:30, my show. I was thinking about this. I just came back from Baltimore, and I was telling my grandchildren to tune in today. Whether they are there or not, I am actually going to say hello, Tyler, hello, Sydney, and hello, Alan. If you're watching, hi. If you see it later, well, you missed the live show, but at least you'll see me on camera. Okay. Well, welcome to the studio audience. And we actually have, I'm going to call a special guest coming in, not to talk, but maybe he has a few questions. Andy, hello. Welcome to my show. Friend of Steve's. So this afternoon's topic is?
Messages from Beyond.
Messages from Beyond. We have a lot of questions, and we have, hopefully, you guys, if there's anything you want to say to me and talk to me here in person, the number is 888-994-4995. Welcome to my show. Questions?
Well, I think we should start off with the event that happened that brought this topic about.
Okay, I'm going to warm myself up a little bit for that because I know that Freddie has some questions, and then because it's going to open up with a little bit of a story, and it's hard because I didn't bring the book. That would get people even more interested to listen to it. But I maybe should, well, we can start it off with that if you want. You seem like disappointed, so we'll do it. All right. Go ahead.
You're on the airplane.
Yes.
And you opened up a book that Aldo had.
Okay, perhaps I will do the introduction. We don't usually, because I don't prepare for this show, and I know that viewers know that. Yeah, I was flying back from Baltimore, and I had found in my you had said to me that Southwest, let's do the beginning of the story. Actually, when I was at home, I said, well, I'll watch a movie, but Southwest doesn't put movies, they don't have a screen. So I went over to my bookshelf, and I only have about 5 or 6 books on the shelf. And I said, I have to pick out one because I need to read something. What am I going to do for 2.5 hours? Well, I pick out a book, and by now everyone knows who Aldo is, and you guys do definitely in the studio. And I go, I never knew I had a book of Aldo's ever here. I told you, I don't have anything. So I picked this book up, and it's got all his writings. Because this is what Aldo used to do. I used to read a book, or he would read a book, and correct it like you were in school, and underline certain things. So I said to myself, I have to take this book. It's like he's traveling with me on the airplane. So I fly there, I read a little bit of it. And coming home, I open it up again. And I see all the little things that he's explaining in the book. It was very interesting. And suddenly, over the loudspeaker, they turn around, and I'm sure people have flown and heard this, they say turn off the Wi-Fi, or if you want Wi-Fi, and they're mentioning Wi-Fi about 4 times. I opened my book to read what he'd written, and it said,
connect to the Wi-Fi.
Wow.
In the book, as I opened it and they were talking about it.
Had nothing to do with the
page
book. On the book.
Because he's writing and explaining all the paragraphs in the book, which was all spirituality. So that was my amazing moment.
Connect to the Wi-Fi.
So did you connect to the Wi-Fi?
No, I couldn't. That's exactly what Steve said, because apparently I had to do something on my phone. But after that, I felt like he was absolutely traveling with me, because then I said, it wasn't that interesting, the book. But then I suddenly said this to myself, I don't know, I can't really get into it. I just want to see what he's underlined, a lot of nearly on every page, all to do with the book. But then I started reading about the painter. Van Gogh. There was a about 2 pages on Van Gogh, which was so interesting. So I think he wanted me to pick the book up, listen to the Wi-Fi, but then he said to himself, she better read about Van Gogh. So
you read about Van Gogh.
Yeah, that's my little story of what happened on my travels.
But you get messages from Aldo, not necessarily while you're traveling on an airplane, but at home
Yeah, I do. But
you ask Aldo to direct you to a TV program, and he does.
right, and that's good, because I was talking to my grandchildren about this, and I said that you are often on the show because some of these things sound so way out, but the fact that you validate it, not that I know that it happens to me, but it's maybe a little easier for people to understand that what I'm saying is being validated by someone else. And you see it all the time, Steve. I'll ask a question to Aldo, and on the television something will come through with the answer. Even Siri spoke to me. So this is our messages from beyond. But I know you have a lot of questions.
Well, but I want to set it up. I just don't want to shoot out questions because people aren't going to really understand what it is that we're asking. I mean, is there a reason why these things happen? So you have this message that you received on the plane. Is there a reason why it happened when you were on the plane? Is there a reason that it happened that day? Is there a reason it didn't happen when you and Steve were having dinner? Is there a catch to this? Because the questions that people are asking is they're looking for the reason why it happened.
I love that, and I love the topic that you've turned this into too, because there is reasons, and many people have these experiences. But again, it goes back to the awareness that they are all around us. And once we know that, we'll see that they are really trying to talk to us. So I actually usually, and you've seen me do this too, Steve, I'll ask Aldo a question. I'll say, the reason I might want to know something, can you answer my question? So I will get the answer. There was a reason, because that's why I was answering the question in the first place to him, not just at random. However, that does happen at random because they want to let us know they're around us. But if you specifically ask for a question and you get the answer, like I did just then, well, I didn't, I opened the book, but many times on the television, or I'll see a sign, that's the reason is they want to let us know there, and they're helping us with what I'm thinking about and the question that's on my mind.
Well, the reason I even ask is because if you are receiving messages, sometimes it's just the act of you drowning in something going on around you that you're worried about.
Exactly.
And you're forgetting the essence of what brought you to where you are right now, or the explanations to what brought you right now. So it's an interesting dilemma. There are questions in here.
Yeah, I'm eager to hear the questions that people are asking.
But I'm going to make you wait like you made us wait. So.
Oh, okay, but that was a story worth waiting for, because that was pretty incredible. But I still want to know what you think the reason was.
Oh,
the reason was to let me know that he was traveling with me on the aeroplane. He's telling me to turn the Wi-Fi on. Good. Of course there was a reason for that. I mean, was it something that was, it was just to let me know he was traveling with me, I think. Because why, in a big book.
I tried, but she got me.
Would I open up a page where he's written, tune into Wi-Fi? It was nothing to do with the book. And the split second they said Wi-Fi on the loudspeaker, I'm reading, and Aldo's saying tune into the Wi-Fi.
And it's funny because a lot of people would just think that was just, a fly-by-night coincidence, something happened, that whatever. And the way you're defining it actually gives it meaning. And that's what these questions are all about. Because
I'm going to bring the book next week. You'll see all his writings. It's in his writing. I didn't write that. I mean, I'm not suggesting anybody would say that I did, but you'll see exactly how he writes.
Why do you think he was leading you to read about Van Gogh?
I think, well, I don't want to say because Van Gogh only sold one painting in his life, but yes, because I was interested. I'm interested in I love Starry, Starry Night. I love his artwork, but he was not known till after he passed away, so I don't know.
Well, the other thing is, who else knew that she loved Van Gogh?
He did. He knew. Oh, that's right. You just gave me another. Oh my gosh, thank you. Yeah,
somebody help me.
Of course.
Welcome to Call Me Zena.
Thank you, Freddie. He knew that, of course, because I loved Starry, Starry Night. All right, thank you.
Wow. There's a reason things happen.
Of course.
And I think that what people are looking for is an answer. Again, like to take a sentence from Dawn is the why. But sometimes it's bigger than just the why, it's the explanation that goes with it.
Well, yes, because I don't believe, and I've said this before, Freddie, things happen for reasons. It's up, we plan our life, but we also along the way change it because we have free will. But when it's really specific and it's something important, they're there, as we talked, I believe, on the last show to help us. So how are they going to talk to us? There's no way unless we're listening or they show us a sign. I mean, if they suddenly started appearing all over the place, and they do to psychics who are aware of that, people would freak out.
But I think they are talking to us.
Well,
I think that some of us are sensitive enough to hear it or see it or
that's
sniff
the thing. They're around everybody. It's not just
everybody. It's all here.
But many people go, "Oh, I don't know, stop." But the more you become aware of it, the more actually it becomes like it's okay. There's nothing wrong with this. They're here to help us. They're around us. It's not like scary. But I think more and more people today are getting used to this, and they're very active. They're very active with us at that point.
All right, so let me read the first one. This comes from Mike in Florida. What's the meaning of "I'm watching over you"? It was given to him in a nightmare, not a dream. I guess there's a difference, right?
Well, it was a. He heard it in the dream, in his nightmare. He heard, "I'm watching over you."
That's the message.
Okay, so what I'm taking from that is that he was having a nightmare, which of course is us. We're dreaming, we're somewhere. But the fact that someone although it was a dream, it wasn't actually having in his own reality here, someone was saying it was helping him through that nightmare. "I'm watching over you," exactly what they said. So I don't know the nightmare because it's not him, it's him writing this question down. I would be curious to know what the nightmare was. But having said a nightmare, it was scary.
Well, obviously, if they're watching over you, there's something going on in this person's life.
Well, yes, and that's a very good way to actually explain that, because the nightmare was disturbing him. He woke up and he said he had a nightmare. Having said that, he heard someone say, "I'm watching over you." So my advice, or what I would say from that nightmare is, whatever it was, someone was helping you with it.
Well, the funny thing is, if they have written in the question, then obviously whoever it is that's watching over them had some kind of influence on them.
I'm just going to say they have influence. You took the words out of my mouth, because they have influence on the other side of the veil here. So we may not have that same influence. I can say to that person, I'm watching over you, but it's not the same meaning as it would be from someone that can actually see what's going on and is watching over them. So that's the answer to that. They were watching over.
My take on that is, if it was worded differently, like "I'm watching you" instead of "I'm watching over you.
Correct.
If I'm watching you, that could be on the scary side, but if I'm watching over you, that's on the helpful side.
100%. Thank you, guys.
It's like Dawn screams at me, and then if I have a nightmare, I sort of listen to the nightmare more than her real life. Which is true.
That was, thank you.
Yet, but I do tell you about my dreams.
Oh.
Some of them are specific, and some of them aren't necessarily good. And then if you have a dream about another person, do you tell them it might not be good? Do you heed it as a warning that I had this dream?
Well, then you've got to go again, which we've talked about before, with your gut, because they are helping us. But they're also helping us if they see something ahead of us that we may not be aware of. But when we see it and then it may happen, we're aware that, oh my gosh, it becomes a premonition. So it really depends.
But she's sharing, should she share bad news?
Well, that's what I was going to say. If you feel that it's a premonition, because I think you can we don't really know actually, but if your gut's telling you that you should say something to someone, I think whatever it is, I'm wary sometimes because I can maybe feel something, but I have to feel that person out. You don't want to give the person, get them scared. They could even have a heart attack if it was something really bad. So you have to I think in a way we have a slight obligation to share it, but in the best way that you can, because if you're able to have a premonition and you can see something happening, just like if I saw something here, you have to be careful how you say it though, because we still have free will, and that really is the answer to that, because we can change that. So if we get a premonition and someone tells me I see something, I can say whatever I'm going to say basically. It won't happen because we can change it, or be aware that we can. That
happened over the weekend, and I thought, oh, it's just a dream. None of that is true until part of it started happening, and then when the first part happened, I said, now I got to share the second part because it came together in pieces.
Well, that's, yes, it really depends on the situation. And it brings me back to that time, remember, at the airport when I'd left my bag. I had, going last time, right? I had the dream prior to that. And my dream was absolutely coming alive because I had lost my purse. And as I'm running to the airport in our life here, real life, I'm saying my dream, it's only a dream, it's only a dream. Right. But I knew I was going to get my purse because I'd already had the dream.
You did something similar on this trip, but you didn't have a dream before.
What's that?
You left your roller bag.
Oh, I did, yeah.
The whole suitcase?
No, I went to get some sushi, and I'm carrying the sushi. I've got a jacket, I've got my purse, but this isn't a spiritual thing. This is like, oh, wow, I need to take care of myself here. And I go to put the sushi on the table, and I'm going, wasn't I wheeling something? But it was okay. It was a matter of 2 minutes. I got it back. I didn't dream that.
You know,
That was just
taking a page out of Steve's playbook, also the person that has the dream, like let's say Steve tells me something that he had a dream, or you tell me something, same dream. Let's say it's the same dream, and coming from him, I would say, okay, thank you, Steve. But coming from you, because of who you are, does that have a play in what's going on?
well, the fact that Steve would. It's the same situation and he's getting the same messages. But I guess the person telling that, I mean, I've been saying some really strange things recently. I know that this is what's happening. So they have more faith. It's to do with the person. The message is for him or I or whoever it is. But if you're telling that message to someone else, they've got to believe in the person telling the message, that they've already done something similar to other people. If this was the first message that someone was going to give to somebody, that person wouldn't even know that it was real because they don't know they're psychic yet. Does that answer it a little bit?
Well, it does. It does and it doesn't, because I think that the person that's delivering the message is the way the person is going to react. They're either going to take it more seriously or they're not.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm really trying to say. It depends on the person who's giving the message. I mean, I can't remember when I first started doing this, but I knew things were happening that I foresee. But a question, if someone came up to you and you didn't know that they were a psychic or they were able to do this and they gave you a message, you would probably in your mind say, well, prove this.
I wouldn't listen to it.
Exactly. Now, this is not my ego talking, but you've seen my show for 3 years here.
But that's what I'm trying to say. It would be more.
It depends. It's the same message being given to that person, but to the receiver receiving it has to have faith in the person giving the message, because otherwise they're not going to think it's real. They're helping me out here very much, my guy.
If I were you, I would heed my warning too, because I've developed psychic abilities.
Okay.
The funny thing is, when three people tell you the same thing, would you then believe it?
Okay, well, we can bring something up. Shall we bring up what happened to Freddie and I at the same time again?
Again? No.
I won't. But that's a similar scenario, though, Freddie.
No,
Isn't
that
it,
was
Dawn,
a
an
scenario.
outside point of view from that? Who
that
knows
was
the
because
story.
I told you something that happened, and then you said the same thing happened to you that night.
All right,
Well-
what's the next question you have?
Thank you.
We're trying to get through this. Thank you for helping us.
Someone's watching over you or watching you.
Well, that was this
But
question.
we missed but I think we
That was
answered
the
it.
question we answered, and had a lot of different definitions, right?
So
So, Mike, I hope that helps. Why are you laughing?
you.
So this person, Ethan, from Chicago, what does it mean when someone says in my dream, follow your heart?
Okay. It says exactly what he's being
But
asked
does
to
it?
do.
Well, hold on.
Your heart. Okay. Is there more to it?
No, that's it. But does it? Because I can think about a different.
Well, it depends how you look at that. It depends on the situation in your life. Perhaps you're a good scenario here. I'm thinking of something, and I'm kind of thinking to myself, and I'm talking to myself, should I or should I not do that? It's not really what I want to do, but part of me is saying, yes, it is what I want to do. Now, if I suddenly hear follow my heart, I'm getting my answer, because that feeling is coming from my heart, which if you into this at all, you get a feeling and you'll feel that. Having said that, perhaps I've got another scenario that's going on. No, it's basically the same thing. Follow your heart, your intuition. That's your intuition. That's what that is, no matter what it is, actually.
Okay. But Sally, would you say that a dream where you get some sort of a message in a dream is not as powerful as a message that you got on the plane? It wasn't in a dream.
No, it's all the same. If I'm trying to tell somebody something, and somebody else comes along and says the same thing, it doesn't matter where it's coming from. It's a message, and whoever can pick up on that message, no matter how it's delivered, if it's on the television, if it's in a book, or if you hear it. So getting back to Freddie's question, follow your heart would have the same scenario, because it's difficult to answer that. It's basically what we're talking about. Follow your heart, follow your intuition. Does that make sense?
But what if that means to somebody who's not comfortable with themselves, their decision making, or something of the sort where I do this and then I go here, and then I change that and I go over here, because I'm not listening to what I feel?
Well, my answer to that is you have to ground yourself. Many people are like that. They don't know to do this, including myself. But if you take those few seconds to what I would call ground yourself and really think within, you actually do hear things, or you feel balanced. Because if you're out of balance, you're not even going to hear yourself. You're all over the place. It's the same thing from them. They're telling you a message. I'm going back to the follow your heart. Calm down. Listen. I'm giving you messages. You can't get it.
So a guy can criticize you? Not criticize you, but what's a better word?
No, they can. Absolutely. I mean, that happened to me.
Well, if you're going to make a decision and something like this comes up and they're telling you maybe that it's not the right decision?
Well, your intuition, you have to rely very much on yourself at these messages, really, that you're hearing. And if your gut, go with your gut, which is if you feel it's not right and you say to yourself, I don't like what I'm doing, I should do it this way. If you do it and you go against your gut instinct, that's the word, your gut instinct, and it goes wrong the other way, just like you would with anything, forget that you're asking anybody, I need to stop doing this, I need to go the other way, right? We do that many times. I can't get anywhere with this, I'm going to do something different. So it's basically no different to what we do with ourselves here, except the people that are guiding us they're more in tune of what's going on in our life, and that's the important part.
So they really know how we feel. So follow your heart could talk about reference.
It could be anything.
Well, it's mostly telling you to believe in yourself, no? Follow your heart?
Yeah, there's that to it too, because if you think along the way that I'm trying to explain in my own way for people to do, then you're going to rely more on yourself than somebody else who doesn't have that same problem or has the same problem. I'm going to listen a lot to my intuition today because I feel that I'm being led into the right way. However, and I always bring up free will, I can still go against myself too and say, no, I'm going to do it another way. Then I'll say, oh, you know what? I should have listened the first time. How many people say that, right? I should have listened to you the first time, or I should have listened to myself the first time.
And let's switch gears. What about daydreaming? Is that dreaming? Daydreaming?
Daydreaming is... Yes, it's what it says. All these things, if you think about it, even the words we use are what's happening. Daydreaming, right?
Well, some of us daydream more than others.
Well, because they may be more into their daydreaming and they're getting messages. Our minds wander. Actually, the best thing to do is just quieten your mind and you meditate. But meditation takes many different forms. I didn't really know that I could meditate, and yet I was painting. I was somewhere else. I didn't know.
Were you daydreaming when you were painting?
I was deep in meditation because I didn't even know when I finished my artwork until I actually looked at the canvas what I had put on the canvas. I had no idea. It was like I was blindfolded. So that has to be coming the same way as all these messages are coming. I was drawing things from previous lifetimes. I didn't know what I was drawing.
You daydream?
Everyone does. Everybody does.
I daydream more than I nighttime dream.
So that's my point. There's got to be a reason why that happens.
Because you remember your daydreams. If you're sitting there, you're awake and you're daydreaming. You don't actually fall asleep unless then you're sleeping. It's not a daydream. It's a night dream or a day.
So you think you daydream because you remember it more than your night dreams that you don't remember?
Because your mind is active. If you're sleeping, your mind is set aside. So you're dreaming. But if you consciously sit in a chair here and your mind wanders, we call that a day. What is a daydream unless you actually fall asleep?
I know some people in this room that you're talking to them and they go into outer space somewhere and then they come back.
Well, that's exactly what they're doing.
It annoys Sally when that happens.
It happens a lot with you. Now I've got that in.
But she should understand why.
Because if I'm talking, I need someone to listen to me.
But he's being spoken to by another planetary.
Well, no, there's a point. That's a different situation. But there is a point that your mind does wander. You have to quieten your mind. Let's have something else to talk about here. Dawn,
today is my father's birthday. May he rest in peace. He would have been 110
today.
And I'm constantly thinking of him today, and I just can't bring out a specific message he's trying to tell me, but I'm thinking about him like every other minute. I'm thinking about my father.
Well, because it's an anniversary of something. It's the anniversary of his passing. It happens with all of us, Steve. When it's that's how they know that we're actually thinking. We're more in tune with that person, be it a birthday, be it any celebration or the day of your passing. They're aware that we know that, so they try to get hold of us. Well, they always try to get hold of us, but we're more likely to hear them when it's an anniversary or something special. That's not unique. It's something that happens to all of us, Steve.
Okay, I got one for you. Last night, I had a dream that my mother came and she was rubbing my side and she told me to smile. And the funny thing is that I'm asleep and I smile. I know that I'm smiling. No, okay, what does that mean?
Well, actually, that I can absolutely 100% relate to that, because when I started my first time, when I was astral projecting and flying all over the place, do you know the first thing that would come to me, and I knew it, I would smile. You are aware of your
So what does
smiling.
it mean?
It means you're happy. Why would you smile? You wouldn't smile if someone tells you an unhappy story.
I smile because she told me to smile.
It doesn't mean you have an Oedipus complex.
However, no, she told you, but you listened and you smiled, so you were happy. If you had not, she might have said again, Freddie, will you please smile? You heard her.
Now, you see, I got the opposite thought. That I wasn't happy. I know why it would happen.
Okay.
I trust you me. I know the reason why.
I was just going to say there was a scenario going on in your life, or you were thinking about it.
No, there's a scenario going on right now in my life.
Okay, so she's telling you, smile, be happy. It's a song, Smile, Be Happy.
Okay, now this scenario is about a house in Puerto Rico that she lived, they were married, they lived there. And this house is now vacant and I have to fix it. It's demolished. It's a mess. And it's been on my mind for a week. So, and I haven't said this to anybody in here, right? I haven't told you this. And she tells me last night, it's going to be okay, smile. So I'm thinking maybe that's what it is. But after going through all of this, maybe that's not what it was. Maybe it's something else.
I think it's this. She's telling you, the smile means don't worry about this, because she's telling you to do something positive. I mean, this is very strong because you feel it and you knew you were smiling. So her message as far as this goes is just smile, let it be, it's going to be fine. Don't worry about it, smile. That's what I'm feeling.
That could be, because she was always like that.
It is. That's what she's telling me. No, it could be.
You're kind of like that too.
What?
You're kind of like that too.
Okay.
Gibraltar can be falling.
It's
okay. Just smile.
Yeah, just smile. That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
Well, you know, when you have a solution to a problem, you sort of smile. When you don't really have a solution to a problem.
Well, you're not going to necessarily, well, you guess what happened to me today, right?
Maybe your mom has the solution. She's just letting you know it's going to be okay.
Next question now.
This was easy at the beginning, right?
You want to take a commercial break before we go on?
Yeah,
to the
let's
next
do
one?
Okay. I'll see you guys back on the other side of this show.
A true story, Call Me Zena, is the telling of Sally Bernard. Born in London, England at the end of the Second World War, she came into the U.S. in 1979. A mother of 2 and a grandmother of 4, she settled in Florida and worked in real estate. While going through a difficult time in her life, she was admitted into a hospital overnight in December of 2005. While settling back into her life, she began having vivid dreams and documenting them. By the third dream, a lady gave her a message to draw. With no artistic background or interest into art or history, Sally listened to her dreams and grabbed a paper and crayons. Today, she has over 150 pieces of inspiring art and poetry. This book follows her journey and interpretations of these messages. She describes in detail how she is able to astral a project and who she has met along her travels, including her spirit guides. This book will show you how anything is possible with an open mind. These events have changed Sally's life and direction, and this book will show you how to change yours. Purchase Call Me Zena on Amazon today, authorhouse.com and amazon.com.
Thank you for joining me through this journey of self-discovery with the help of my spirit guides. I'm Sally Bernard, and you can find my book at authorhouse and amazon.com or visit my art on my clothing in my boutique at artbysallybernard.com. Now back to the show. Hi, welcome back everybody. Okay, we have our questions written down and I'm wanting the next one, please.
Okay, Max from California writes, what does let go and let the universe take over mean when it comes in a nightmare?
In a nightmare, let go and let the universe take over that's a great question. But to me, that would not be a nightmare. That would be a very positive hearing of something. Yeah, but I don't know what his nightmare was.
Maybe there was something bad that happened, and then this was the end result.
But the thing is, we don't know, so it's hard because...
Take a nightmare.
Well, take a nightmare in a scenario.
Suppose you're being chased by a dog. Take a nightmare.
Okay.
And at the end of this thing, it says those words. What's it mean?
What? Give me the words again. I've forgotten now.
Ay, ay, ay. Let go and let the universe take over.
Okay, so let go of the scenario and just trust in yourself and the universe. It's going to take over the nightmare. You're going to be fine.
But the dream is the universe.
Doesn't matter, because as long as he knows that, whatever the dream is, whatever the nightmare is, just let it go. You're going to be okay. Talk to the universe.
A couple of weeks ago, we were having
Right?
difficulty really discerning the difference between dreams and nightmares.
Yes.
So
we're back to that again.
I think what people think is a nightmare might not necessarily be a nightmare, but simply
or
it
something
depends
they didn't
on
like.
everybody has a different feeling about a nightmare. I know, like if I dream about a spider or something, or a snake, I'm going to be terrified. However, if someone owned a reptile company and they had a dream about a snake, they wouldn't worry at all.
What about if you
That
look
was a
at
good scenario,
both
right?
scenarios? You look at it's not a bad dream, or it is a bad dream. Do those words have the same impact?
Well, what it actually is, getting into dreams, there are two different, our subconscious, what you see around you, this is explaining a dream, which could then be a nightmare. Let's say you've had a really bad day. It's the continuation, because your subconscious still carries that, and it's very new in your mind. So whilst that's at play, you go to sleep and you're still thinking of that, and that's right there where your mind is. So whatever happened to you in that particular day, if it was bad, you may bring out more of that and it would turn into a nightmare. Now, another way, which Aldo actually told me too, is that there's a different way of dreaming. It goes into what we call a superconsciousness. And that superconsciousness is holding things that happened to you even a long, long time ago in other incarnations even. So depending on where you are in this life, if that resurfaced in a dream, and they're telling me exactly how to explain this, to you now, you may have overcome what happened to you, but you're going to see it, and it may not be a nightmare. It depends entirely what you feel or what you're scared of. A nightmare is no more than being scared of something, or you're being chased, or you have an accident. That would be called a nightmare, right? And you're happy when you wake up and that you weren't in that situation. So it really depends. It depends on the person. We're going to say it's only a dream. So a nightmare, many people have repetition of it. I did as a child. I had repetition of the same dream over and over again. Obviously, I worked out whatever that problem was, because apparently a couple of years later it stopped completely. don't even really have to know the answer.
Well, a nightmare could be a warning, where a dream could be...
That's a premonition now. That would be called a premonition, which I've also had. In a dream, I've had premonitions that have come about. We all have it, we just don't always recognize it. Well, I don't know enough about premonitions to generalize that, but I know that I have had them.
Okay, Harper from Connecticut writes, what does "I will always be with you" mean to someone who's grieving?
Well, it's no different to really what we say, or someone has said that always, if they came to me, let's say, and they had just lost someone, if I'm getting a message and I say to that person, they're always going to be with you, it's something that I truly believe anyway. The people that have passed on, they never leave you. So they're trying to wake that person up to the fact that that person is saying to them, I will always be with you. We all can hear that. We all know that, because I can absolutely tell you, our loved ones tell us that. It's up to us to hear that, or from someone who is psychic, who can hear it, to tell them they never left.
Big difference between Aldo saying that to you and Steve saying that to you. Big difference between a mortal saying that to you, then you're on a plane at 38,000 feet, and you open a book, and you start reading it, and those are the first words that come out at you. I think the significance of its delivery.
The delivery of yes, but the messages are all the same no matter where they are. My message from Aldo, if it had said turn on the whatever, I forget now, turn on the Wi-Fi, if I'm sitting in this room and I suddenly heard that, it wouldn't have meant anything to me. I'm sitting on a plane when they're just telling you to turn on your Wi-Fi. I'm on a book that I have on my lap. I open it and it's written, I have to bring it next week, in writing, turn on the Wi-Fi.
Yes, but this is significant because it happened on a plane.
But it was time for that to happen. Why would I actually, not knowing anything in that book other than what he'd scribbled, open on a page? This is a different thing, though, Freddie. This is Aldo, and the situation with him would be different, because someone would think they were going crazy if they suddenly opened that. To me, it gave me tremendous comfort. I mean, what are the chances, honestly, of opening a book even on that page? I wasn't going through the book. And they said turn on the Wi-Fi. But that's a different situation.
I don't think it makes a difference where the message comes to you. The fact that it comes and it addresses something that is right in front of you.
They're only going to do what's going on. They're not going to, yes, you can get premonitions, but the message is specifically for the person that's receiving the message. I mean, if I suddenly said to you right now, turn on the Wi-Fi, you open that book, it wouldn't have meant a thing, right? So that's just one situation. It depends the message to the messenger. The teacher's the same thing. Look what I've learned through Aldo. I was ready. Somebody else might have just blocked him out. It's the same thing.
Well, it sounds to me that if you're not listening to the message, then where it happens to get your attention seems to be important.
Well, it is, but people give us messages here. Do we heed those? Some of the time we take no notice. It's the same thing.
But that's the problem. That's not the solution.
Well, that's the problem, because we don't listen. But when you begin to open up, Freddie, to these type of things, and you hear that your guides, which we talked about before, are here to help us. They're not going to keep telling you something if you're not listening. It's the same thing.
Well, the funny thing is then, Sally, you have dreams. You have dreams because some of the wiring ain't correct.
That's perfect.
You can't keep saying that it's there to be had. If you can't see it, it's not there to be had. It's there to be talked about.
Our dreams are communicating with us. So what we might have, this is a perfect way to answer that. What we might see here, let's say I see something here that that would be important to me, but I'm taking no notice. That's my consciousness seeing that, my mind. I go to sleep and my subconscious takes over because I'm asleep. We have a subconscious. That subconscious is going to repeat what I just saw in the studio here. It's trying to get my attention. It's all about getting your attention.
Yeah, but
do you see what I'm saying?
Well, we just mentioned when you sleep, that's one aspect. When you daydream, is another aspect.
It's not too far off from what we're talking about. A daydream also is your subconscious in a way, although you may not be asleep because it's happening. You're thinking. That's consciousness.
Oh, hold on. So you look for your keys, you don't find them, and then Dawn says they're right there in front of you. What do you want to call that?
Because your mind was all over the place, and it took Dawn to find your keys because you weren't focusing. The key is to focus. That's the key. You focus.
And I think
this is getting extremely difficult.
I think when you get a message from beyond, like you got yesterday on the plane, it really had nothing to do with the Wi-Fi. It was Aldo's way of saying,
exactly.
I'm here with you.
It was his way of saying, I'm here with you right now on your
but what's the message about that? He's with you and...
He was protecting, I'm in an airplane. Anything can happen.
He's protecting you on a plane.
Yeah.
Yes, maybe. He just letting me know he was with me. He's got my back, and I know that.
Some people are scared of flying.
Well, he knows I'm not, but, it was good to still do that.
Okay.
Oh, good.
Sophia, what's the significance of you're on the right path?
These questions, you're on the right path. Okay, if you're, okay, this is easy.
Okay, before you answer it, you started the show. What was the theme of the show?
Messages from beyond.
Okay, so if I get a message from beyond that says you're on the right path.
Okay, that's good.
Well, hold on, let me finish. Because you're making it sound like the questions are irrelevant.
Oh, no, they're all relevant.
But the question is, why are they coming forward? I think we established that.
No, I'm not criticizing the question. I'm going to say you're on the right path. I absolutely like that question.
Versus you're not on the right path.
You're not on the right path. So the meaning behind that is exactly, they talk to us the same way as what we understand. So it's actually kind of easy in a way. You're on the right path. You're only going to attribute being on the right path that was the answer if you suddenly begin to feel that I got the message, I'm on the right path. It's what it says. That's what I meant. No.
To me, it means more than what it says. It means maybe I'm not confident in my thinking and my ability. Maybe I'm thinking the wrong way. Maybe I'm thinking wrong about Steve.
Okay, this is good that you just said that.
I'm just using it as an
because
example.
you wouldn't hear it if you were. It's easy. Let's do this. It's easy. You wouldn't hear you're on the right path if you weren't questioning it, and you know you're on the right path. Once you start to question it, you're getting the answer. You could be on your merry way, Freddie. You see what I'm saying?
I do.
Doing whatever
you.
Yes, of course. You
or
Dawn, you see it too.
Okay,
why are you going to hear you're on the right path?
Because you're not. Because the opposite of you aren't is
that's
you're not.
why you're hearing it. Do you see what I'm saying?
You're having turmoil. You're having turmoil in your head as to whether or not you're on the right path. Your message is
that's why I
smiled
smiled when I heard it.
Maybe that was the message from your mother when she rubbed your side and said, "Smile," to let you know you're on the right path.
I understand, but then what I'm trying to figure out is why they do messages that way.
I got it. I got it.
Validation.
It's validation, and the question, you could be on the right path about anything that's going on in your life, but the one thing that you want to know if you're on the right path, they are aware of what you're doing, and you're questioning yourself, then they would come through, because it could mean anything to you you're on the right path, but it's usually something specific that you would ask your mother if she was here, am I doing the right thing? Because you're thinking of a particular scenario. Do you see what I'm saying?
Or maybe you're not.
Do you understand this, Dawn?
They're letting you, it's validation.
That's right.
What you're doing seems to be the right thing for you at the time.
It's also a message to you to say that even though these people may have, transitioned, they're not in your life in physicality anymore. They're letting you know that they're with you.
Right.
It's their subtle way of telling you that I'm here with you. Don't worry.
Because if you were at a party and everything is going correct and the way you wanted it and you're meeting the right people, there's no need for them to say you're on the right path. It will come through when you're having something bothersome going on in your life.
You're making an assumption that everybody knows they have a guide.
Yes, well, that's what I've talked about. You don't have to know, but I'm telling you we do.
The question isn't what you talked about. The question is, does everybody have a guide?
100% everybody has a guide.
So if somebody gives you a nightmare or a dream, because we haven't
that's
established
us.
What that is. That's us. That's not the guy.
No, that's us. It's our subconscious.
So you're saying that all these messages are coming from within, from me, not a guide.
Yes, they'll give you the answers to your questions.
Stop saying they, because you're saying it doesn't exist. It's you.
Huh? No.
Do you mean a spirit guide or a physical guide?
A spirit guide.
A spirit guide.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Yeah, but Aldo was a walking earth guide for
Yeah,
her.
I had a
That's
different.
He's
why.
no longer a walking earth guy. He was on a plane at 38,000 feet.
Yes.
But you can't have it both ways. If a person doesn't
Deal with him. I'm done. Deal
if a
with
person
him.
doesn't know they have a guide, and you're getting these messages, I asked her, where are the messages coming from? She said, myself. Me. I'm creating these messages.
No. You're creating the scenario for the guides to help you with it.
You're
They're not
living your life, and they're creating the
Thank
messages
you. That's
for
exactly
you.
what it means.
You're on the right path. You're
Right.
not.
So they're coming from them. Let's use them as the word for guide.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay? So if I didn't know I had a guide, then these questions are the ones that I'm going to ask, because they're going to say, where is this coming from?
Oh, okay. So in answer to any of these questions, I see what you're saying,
But this
Freddie.
is what we started out
Yes,
saying.
no,
What
no,
does a
no.
What was the question?
But
What was
they
the
wouldn't be calling
Messages
it.
from beyond.
Okay, where did
That's
they come
right.
from if you don't know what beyond means?
Well, they probably wouldn't tune in.
But they are
Messages from
tuning in
beyond.
and they're asking.
No, that's what they know. It's coming from beyond, Freddie.
It's
They
people
know
who are
that.
no longer with us
I'm
in
not a
physicality,
psychiatrist.
letting us know that they're here for us.
Or maybe there's a guide. Like, let's say she introduces you to your guide. For the first time in your life, you feel like you have a guide in your
Right.
life.
would be
You're
I see
going
what
wonderful.
you're trying to
Huh?
say.
That would be wonderful.
So you're looking for your Aldo,
I think-
okay?
I
For
think
lack of
that-
a better
I
understanding.
think most of us are.
Okay. So let's say that your Aldo uses one of these phrases. Does it have a significance for you?
No, it's not.
It would only
They
have a
wouldn't do it.
significance if I were in some
That's
sort
right.
of some sort of a quandary about something.
Or not? Maybe it's just watch your path.
Freddie,
Maybe the way you think.
can I just say something? I think this show it's to open people's minds. Let's do it from a different
But that's what we're trying to
perspective.
do.
But that's what I'm saying. So anybody that's writing into the show has an open mind, because why would they ask me a question of any kind? Let's think about this and tune into the show to listen to that answer. They know that I'm not a psychiatrist, I'm not a psychologist, I'm hearing what I'm hearing. So maybe we assumed that was, and maybe I was wrong. I should have said this is coming from guides, because that's what it is.
But that's what the show, that's what we
well,
started
then
out
they
with
know
the show.
then they know what's happening.
But maybe they don't. Maybe they know what a guide
Let's-
is. Maybe they don't know how it's happening.
Well, if they had tuned into last week's show, it was all about guides.
But that has nothing to do with this show.
No. Dawn, I give up. I've never said this.
Okay, you know what? Here, and then I want to.
No, I love the questions.
No, there's nothing to ask.
I don't mean that. I can't get.
But you're not giving me anything to work
Okay,
with.
let me tell you this. The guides are here, right? You see that, Freddie?
I know, guys. Maybe Michael doesn't know what that is.
Well-
He's asking you where it comes from because he's not fully aware.
Oh, I didn't.
Of what it
oh,
signifies.
okay. That was the last question. Okay, it's coming from their guides, not mine. It's coming from their guides.
Well,
because-
obviously it can't come. Or maybe it does. I
What
don't
if
know.
Elizabeth says to me, I'm on the right path?
Okay, but that's you.
That's right.
You think Elizabeth is going to tell him?
No, but
he's
his
on the-
guide will tell him.
Okay, but let's say he doesn't know what a guide
His
is.
name's Andy, but yes.
Andy says, I don't know what a guide is. I had a nightmare last night. What are you going to tell him? It was Elizabeth?
No,
No, the
because
nightmare is
just for
coming
her.
from him. It's his subconscious.
That's right.
So he created it. It wasn't a guide in his life telling him something's about to happen. Is that what you're telling me?
Well, then that would be a premonition on Dawn's part.
Forget
if
about
she-
premonition. It's on his part. It's his dream. He's telling you, I had a nightmare. My mother gave me a kiss and
I
told
think
me
it
it's
can
gonna
be
good."
both, because I've had dreams where a guide or someone of importance has come and given me a message. So that I think comes from a guide. But then you have other dreams that are just subconscious things that happen during the day.
Or maybe they're just one thing and you're just defining it that way.
Maybe.
I'm going to go one step further. You can actually get somebody coming in physicality to give you the answer to this. Because whatever it is, I mean, yes, I had Aldo in that slightly different scenario because he answered so much. But if you're thinking of something, synchronicity is that. You'll suddenly someone come up to you and they'll say exactly what you wanted to find out. they're sending that person to you. That's what they're trying to tell me to tell you guys. Because we've had that or something. You think, oh my gosh, how did that happen? Very easy, good example, even just last week, and I've had many, the guy with the coffee, Darren. You had made a pie of some kind, and I never would announce I'm gluten-free, right? I said, I can't eat this because I'm gluten-free. This guy was sitting there, and he looked at me, he said, my gosh, you're doing the right thing. You're gluten-free. I've been gluten-free for 2 years. Now, what were the chances of me actually in front of him saying that Freddie's pie wasn't gluten-free? Do you see what I'm saying here? He was sitting there.
I think the more remarkable thing about Darren is that he doesn't believe in guides.
Well, it doesn't matter.
He's one that will tell you, what are you talking about? That doesn't exist.
It doesn't matter. That's nothing to do. It's the synchronicity part of it. But whether you believe in it or not, they're still going to do it. You don't have to believe that that was a guide that sent that person. But the synchronicity was incredible.
You know, it's remarkable. I have had a dream, and I've come in here, and it has happened in flesh. The same thing that I dreamt about. And you're going to tell me that was a coincidence.
Not me.
Well,
I won't,
but the object of the game here, what I'm trying to establish is that sometimes we can get a message that we haven't been looking at, and we just say, oh, it's for the par, and we continue not to learn from it until it hits you over the head.
Perfect example.
But that's what these questions are about, Sally.
But it's to open their minds because they're asking the questions to know that the whole thing is we're being led. We are not alone. We are not alone here. So however I or whoever is explaining the answer, just if it happens, just know that you had something to do with it, but it was a communication from something that was able to see more of a situation, which I'm going to say is your guide because they can see what's going on and your answers are coming to you, or a person in a situation can come forward with the answer. They're sending people. We're not alone in this mess. We're really not. We can call out. A guide, it doesn't have to, I mean, he was my guide in physicality, but we have certain people come into our lives right at the right part of our life when we're going through something, and they have the answers for us. We've all had that, right? Well, a lot of people, it's the same thing. They're leading, even if they're not here to actually show themselves, they'll get somebody, I know this happens because it's happened to me, to come in right at the right timing to give you the right answer. They're actually speaking to you because they're here.
The funny thing is that 3 years ago, you didn't do this. What you do today?
No, I didn't have my show.
No, forget about the show. Talk about you.
Okay.
3 years ago, you didn't do this. And here you are doing it. And you attribute it to something, a man or a person, physical, whatever, show you the light as to what you should be doing. And how many times have you told me that you had dreams, that you were painting and everything else? So those messages ran you over, and you completely, until 3 years ago, ignored it.
And you know what? I can go...
No matter how much it was from you.
I can go one step further because one of Aldo's last messages to me when he was in physicality and then he passed, he said, Sally, be my mouthpiece. Because he had, he said...
When did he tell you that?
Just prior to him... Well, he had said it through his life, but he said it just prior to him dying. He died about 2 or 3 weeks later. Now, you never met him.
How many years ago was that?
When he first... Well, when I was beginning to open up to
How
what
many
he was...
years?
I'm going back maybe about... I don't know, about 12 years ago.
So, before the 12 years, you weren't doing any of this?
Well, yeah, I was... Yeah, but not the way I'm doing it on the air. I was doing workshops, but not in such depth that I'm doing it now.
You were doing workshops of other things.
Well, no, how my art came about, and I knew because my art happened 20 years ago, but what really brought it to what it should be is that I'm here in the studio. What I don't believe that this was coincidence. Aldo passes away, has given me all this to talk about, and shown me so much that as soon as he's passed away, a month later, I'm sitting here in the studio.
So you knew that this was coming?
I didn't. He did. I didn't know that. I was meant to come 3 years prior, and I didn't.
So you didn't even know about guys before you met him?
Oh, no. Of course I knew. I knew.
You knew guys existed?
Yeah.
You had a prior guy?
Yes, I did, but you can't go by me because I've had Aldo in my life 20 years ago.
No, before Aldo.
No, I didn't know how I was getting messages.
But that's what this is. These are people who are looking for their Aldos. These are the Steves. They don't know that they have an Aldo. And for me to tell them that these questions and dreams are coming from within deflects exactly what you did before you met Aldo.
I will correct myself here because I should have opened more to the show to say, had you have listened to my last show, great. But if you haven't, just know you're being protected by guides. But if someone really wasn't going to be that interested, they would turn it off, or they'd now follow what I'm saying because I'm channeling. This is not me talking what I know. I mean, I'm talking, but a lot of this I may not know if you were just having a regular conversation with me. Now, they didn't know that about me.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. On a lighter note, if you happen to speak to Aldo about next week's game, please don't tell me if he thinks Indiana's going to win.
No, I won't say anything. Okay. I don't even know who's playing.
He may win. They may win. They have a good shot.
Well, they're undefeated.
Yeah, they look amazing.
But Miami looks great.
You think they look greater than them?
I think it's all timing.
Miami has the tenacity,
I agree.
the drive, the you.
But getting back to bringing it to the show, everything is all about timing, and I believe everybody that's listening or has written in, they knew that because they timed it, and I'm on the show here right now talking and giving them answers.
I tried to turn this into a sports show. I apologize.
That's fine.
Well, if there are any guides, any messages that your guides are sharing with anyone, for Freddie, maybe his mom has a message for him.
Okay, which I'd be happy to do and also for Steve because
Steve's dad, maybe.
Yes. Okay. Well, going back to what we had said about his mum, and I believe she was touching you and telling you to smile, if I recall, is that correct? She's telling you to calm down about the situation that you're worried about, because the more we worry, and she's explaining more to you, the more we get into it and we don't really see what's really going on, Freddie. And this is very important for you to just let it be. Smile. It's okay. It's worrisome, but the more you worry about something, and this not necessarily be coming from her, but it's coming from somewhere, the more you focus on what you don't want to happen and not on what you want to happen, you're going to get what you don't want because your focus is on that. So just know that it's being taken care of by your guides. And Steve, I don't know, we'll do something a little bit later because I know your dad is on your mind, and I have given you messages, not necessarily from your father, but we know we've had names and everything, so that's important too. I do get names. So, yes. Dawn, let's talk.
Let's talk. Who's Granny?
Okay, you.
Me?
Yes, I'm getting the answer. You're Granny. You are Granny. You're a grandma. Oh my gosh. That's Elizabeth. Look at me. She's going, no, you're Granny. You're Granny.
Can you imagine?
Yes. You see, that's why she's saying it to you. Okay? Does that make sense to you?
I guess. I just keep hearing it since we were sitting over there.
Yes, because that's what they're calling you now. It's like a term of endearment. Granny. You're a grandma to someone, to a baby.
Interesting.
And they know about it, Granny. That's beautiful.
Interesting.
That's interesting. That's beautiful.
And when you were away, did you feel a presence from any of your other guides?
I knew that, well, I definitely knew Aldo, but I knew that from the plane. No, everything went everything the way it was meant to be. And that's how we know that they're around us too, because if you're following a path and they're showing us and it just falls into place, you don't even have to, just know that you're being helped. And I know that happened there. It was just incredible.
You must have felt Louisa's presence.
I felt my daughter, yes, because it was my grandchildren. They were her children. I felt very much her presence around me. In fact, I saw LC on a few license plates, but I didn't want to scare them out too much. But of course, she was on all our minds. And then Sydney handed me a purse that she had quite a lot of her things. And in fact, I have it in my bedroom. I've not actually had anything that belongs to my daughter around me like that, and it's a good feeling. It's a good feeling because people, they are around us still. They haven't left us. So I think it's the end of my show. See you guys next week. I hope you enjoyed this. Bye.
You have been watching Call Me Zena with your host, Sally Bernard. As an artist, author, and spiritual experiencer, know that you can always seek me out for resources by visiting artbysallybernard.com. Join us next week, Mondays at 2